Hello and welcome to another edition of This is Crazy Talk. Please excuse this, I've been experimenting with my hair today. So most of my videos on here have been about the actual people with mental illness, struggling with mental conditions, self-harm, etc., eating disorders. Today I wanted to talk about the people outside, so family, friends, etc. Some people are very fortunate and have an excellent network of friends and family supporting them through their mental illness. I, for instance, am very lucky. I have a fantastic support from my boyfriend, friends, some of which have their own mental illnesses that they deal with, some of which don't have a mental illness at all and are still very understanding, and my family on the whole have been excellent with me as well. However, some people aren't that fortunate. Either they haven't told anybody about their problems, or they've tried to and they've been knocked back or dismissed or made fun of. I would just like to say that if someone does come to you, whether it's a family member, your daughter, your sibling, your best friend, even an acquaintance, and comes to tell you that they are experiencing mental health problems, that they're depressed, they're suffering from anxiety, they're suicidal, they're self-harming, anything like that, you don't just dismiss that. Even if you think that they're over-dramatizing it, you have to take it seriously. You can't afford not to. Because I don't even want to fathom the number of people who have killed themselves, who clearly it could have been avoided if someone had just listened to them. So I'm just going to reel off a few things that you shouldn't say if someone comes to you with mental illness problems, or should I say things that have been said to other people, not necessarily to me, but to other people who I know, and just general displays of ignorance. Oh, you suffer from depression? Oh, that's okay. I get sad sometimes too. Let me tell you why that is a bad thing to say. Can you imagine if someone came up to you with their leg in a cast and they said that they'd broken their leg and you went, oh, that's okay. I hurt my leg once by knocking it against the table. It's ridiculous. You wouldn't say that. If someone was bleeding to death because they had their arm cut off in a freak accident, you don't just go up to them and say, oh, that's okay, I got a paper cut once. Why are you being so sad and mopey? It's not like your life is that bad or anything. This is a classic example of somebody who doesn't take this as a mental illness. This is someone who just thinks that they're being sad. And it's not about being sad. You can have the most fantastic life. You could be in the money, you can have everything you want, and you could still be depressed as fuck, because depression is an illness. Mental illness is exactly what it says on the outside. You cut yourself? That's such an attention-seeking thing. If you want to know why that is wrong, go and watch my other videos on self-harm. If you don't know why that's wrong, you've got a few problems. If you're anorexic / bulimic, why don't you just eat? Again, I've explained this in previous videos. Go and take a backtrack. There are various others I could go into, but that's about the gist of it. You get the idea. So, what would you say to someone who came to you with such a problem? Well, you need to reassure them. Freaking out will just reinforce the fact that they should never have told you in the first place. So if you stay calm, even if you feel like freaking out, if you can just hold that in until the conversation's over and you can be on your own, give yourself some time then, but please do not freak out in front of them. You need to reassure them that it's okay. That it's okay that they've come to you. That they've been able to admit they have a problem. That they've been able to reach out to somebody. You're obviously somebody that they trust. So please don't break that trust by freaking out. Give them the reassurance that they need. It's okay to be not okay. Let them know that you'll be there for them. But please, only say it if you mean it. Because that person could come to you 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, a phone call, whatever, and they could be in pieces. They could be on the verge of killing themselves. And if you don't mean what you say, and you turn that person down, that's very risky, and you've broken that person's trust. However, it's important not to patronize them. We're all still human beings at the end of the day. Another thing I'll say is try not to walk on eggshells around them, particularly after this conversation has happened and you're speaking, say, the next day, the next week, etc. I'm sure all of you know that if you're nervous around a dog or a horse, any other animal like that, people will say to you, don't show your fear, they can sense it. And if you act confidently, then you've got nothing to worry about. It's kind of a similar principle, really. If you are talking to someone who you now know they have a mental illness, you're walking on eggshells because you are terrified of setting them off or triggering them, that's going to make us nervous. So just try and act confidently and as normally as possible, and just be there for that person. This one goes out to all the worried relatives out there, particularly parents. Don't guilt trip yourself. Really don't. I mean, mental illness can happen to absolutely anybody. Don't go thinking, what if I'd have done this, or what if I'd have listened then? Mental illness doesn't always happen because of a traumatic event that triggers it. It's an illness, it can happen to absolutely anybody for no logical, apparent reason whatsoever. One excellent thing you can do is read up on the mental health issues that that person has. If you're maybe not sure, then just looking at general mental health problems is pretty much a good thing. I'm going to post some links down below so that you can have a look at them yourself. And there's an amazing one that somebody gave to me called the Sirius Project, which gives you some distraction techniques for self-harm, but it breaks it down so that all of the distraction techniques are tailored to how you're feeling at that time, because as I've mentioned before, people self-harm for different reasons. I'm going to post a couple of links, so just take a look at those. And that's all about I've got to say on it. So if you would like to like and subscribe to the channel, that would be fantastic. If you can share this around, that would be amazing. So this is Crazy Talk. Have a lovely day.